Hi there, Winning Ways fans, and welcome to another show where we've got a full lineup for you. Lots of things going on, and we're going to be talking to Jill Mostert from Gold Circle. She's going to be telling Lef all the lowdown about her life because there's a couple of things we need to know about her. And, she's one of those people that's a bit hidden in the closet. We've got to find out about her and Marius, Lef.
No problem. I got the nitties.
Will you ask the story?
Yeah, no, leave it to me.
Yeah. I want to know all about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's as big a story as Man United.
I know, that's the story of the weekend. Where were you called this morning by Man United fans to say well done on Tottenham, on Spurs, and how you played?
Not one. It's becoming a jinx ground for them when they get down to Brighton and Hove Albion. Yeah. And
they never looked like winning, did they?
No. I think their striker's struggling. I think the whole team's struggling.
Pogba? How's Pogba? Do you think Mourinho's enjoying Pogba?
Yeah, he's playing well in flash. I don't know what's going to happen, but they can't be happy. Mourinho was mumbling and grumbling every week now, so...
Did he ever do anything else?
No, he was fun. He's got worse. He's got worse. They didn't buy him his players. Those Yanks didn't buy him his players. So, they were drubbed out of it. You can see why he wanted a centre-half, James, after watching last night. You can see.
I think he wanted a lot more than a centre-half.
Yeah, but he pushed a lot of money. He wanted Maguire, he wanted Oliveira, he wanted the boy from Barcelona. Couldn't get them.
There's still talk about Oliveira moving.
Yeah, but he can't move to anywhere but Europe.
Yeah.
Until January. But Oliveira played for Spurs this week. Now let's talk about Spurs. Spurs comfortably back at home, won 3-1. They look good. Man City, outstanding. A hat-trick for Aguero up front. They look very good, even without De Bruyne. But I think Huddersfield are going to struggle. I thought the game to me was Arsenal, your beloved Arsenal, against Chelsea. It was the same game until Hazard came on.
Yeah.
Very good player.
He's a very good player. We clawed our way back from the jaws of death.
Yes.
And then ended up losing it in the last 10. It was just actually quite sad. But what I do like is last year and the year before, we've tried to run the ball into the box. That's all we've done. We now have a plan. We move forward fast, and the boys are crossing it. Yeah. And it certainly looks like a whole different ball game. And I think Arsenal we will finish top 4 this year, no doubt.
We won't
finish out the top 6.
Yeah, they obviously haven't had a good start, Man City, Spurs. And then tonight, Liverpool go to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, that will be
I think it'll be goals. Liverpool looked very good in their first game, James.
Yeah, Liverpool, I think, are the team that anyone's got to fear. Man City, Liverpool are going to... Man City are going to fear Liverpool.
I went to the rugby. Did you?
No, I didn't. I watched it from my flat.
You high enough up.
I watched it from my flat.
What's your take?
Pollard, I just saw Pollard miss kick after kick after kick.
Yeah, he wasn't on form. And the spread, I think, was 15.5. It ended up being 13 points. Yeah. I don't know how much progress you're making. There were a lot of knock-ons and stuttering stop and starts. And when you watch the second half of the All Blacks, you realise what level we've got to get to.
I must say I'm very impressed with the centre pairing. I think that they're good, the Sharks boys. And I think that they are the right Springbok pairing. The wings were very good. Leroux, Pollard, he's just so one-dimensional. That's the problem with him.
He's a good strong player. Our two wings can run like gazelles, but they tackle like squirrels. So you've got to bear that in mind.
Like squirrels tackling gazelles.
Yeah, like squirrels. They are very quick. Whoa, they get in there. So listen, let's give Grassi a chance. He's won 3 of his last 4 games. He's trying to try new players.
I was impressed with Eben Etzebeth, and he's going to get better.
Comeback.
When he runs, no one stops him.
Yeah,
he's bigger and stronger than he was.
Yeah, I think we've got the makings of a competitive side. I don't know how we're going to get there.
Well, it will be interesting to see how we go in Mendoza next week. Yeah. It will be something to behold. Thomas Aiken got touched off in the
playoff
Nordean Masters. Shame. He's a lovely guy, Thomas Aiken. I played a lot of golf with him at Wanderers when he was
good
a
player,
kid.
James.
Very, and a very nice man. Very nice man indeed. So I was sad to see that he got beaten. What else was there that happened?
No, the sport, we're on top of the sport. The cricket, as you can see, India, I watched India back on top. They're going to win this test, so it'll be 2-1 with 2 tests to go. But I listened to them sling off about the English team. one of you've never heard a guy sting off like this. He said, I'm trying to think of his name, Bob, it might have been Bob Willis or someone like that.
Oh, Bob Willis, the ex-English fast bowler.
He was on there and he said, this team is rubbish. Rubbish. He said, 4 times in the last 4 years, they've lost 10 wickets for 60 runs or something. He said, only 1 or 2 guys have got a chance. When you're on a flat pitch, he said, Cook will get a double century, the captain might, and maybe one other. He said, when the ball's moving, 1 or 2 can hold down. They're rubbish. Oh, he was gazing at
So what about, we've got a couple of South Africans playing there. Malan, Jennings, there are a whole team of them, slew of them.
Yeah, Malan never played. He dropped too many catches in the first game. Jennings went early, but most of the team went early, James.
So it's a disaster.
Disaster. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's find out what's not a disaster. We'll go and have a look at 3 to follow. We give you a couple of good ones here. Right, let's go to Kenilworth, and they raced on Saturday at Kenilworth. The going looked absolutely perfect. There was a maiden juvenile plate, quite a lot of runners in it, which was a surprise. And the 3rd and 4th horses, we picked the 3rd horse as our horse to follow, Northern Spy. But have a close look at the 4th horse as well.
Yeah, Faithful.
Faithful ran a very, very good race too. Let's go and pick them up at the start.
Yeah, the horse we found runs in the colours of Lawrence Werner's. And it doesn't come out that well, and it's off the speed and closes into the race later. But there's a lot of speed on, with horses like AJ, Superstitious, and of course Carlos Mambo. They're showing speed. It looks like the speed's towards the centre outside of this stage. But the horse we've found has got the red sleeves. Would you call it the back half, James?
Yes, certainly in the back half of the race, and moves up quite smartly and then goes on one pace. And the other horse we found is in the purple and white checks. You can see it. It's 3 off the left of your picture, now just sort of moving into way behind the horse that ran 3rd. So, we pick out the horse that runs closest always, but I think the other horse ran just as good a trial, a race, if not better. Faithful's behind the horse we found, and he's got the red sleeves. He slips down the inside now, 1 off the inside fence, and starts to run on at the front 2.
Yeah, this is a Pomodoro, James.
Yeah.
Doing well, Pomodoro. So the front 2 are going to fight it out. Sandy Sport and Carlos Mambo. They got a great race on. Here he is in the red sleeves. He stays on well. This is a good debut. And as I say, Faithful is number 8, coming home hard. So keep an eye on both of them.
Yeah, the Pomodoro's out of Model Man mare, bred by the Armitages, James Armitage, and owned by a slew of owners from all over the country. We've got Mogine from Durban, we've got Werner's from Johannesburg, we've got Knowles from Cape Town, and Glover got him from wherever he came from. So,
Lebanon.
Yeah, probably. Okay, well, let's go and look at the next one. We're going to Turfentine, same race day. Novice plate, Alec Laird stepped out one. There's a bit of money for it, Virginia. Let's go and have a look at this daughter philanthropist.
Yeah, she's out of a Silvana mare. First run, money's on it. I think she's 9 to 2. She completely botches a start in a winner's. It's a novice plate, and she's quickly in behind them, and she's nursed back into the race by Raymond Danielson, but blew away whatever chance she would have of being up closer. The winner's in 3rd. It's a horse called Viveur, and this horse only had 2 runs before it. One first time out, second time out, ran 5 lengths back in the Group 1. And it wins a very good race. But Virginia's a horse in the back in the colours of Mr. Gerba, who we all know so well, and it runs a good debut, James.
Yeah, I thought the winners looked like could be pretty smart.
Yeah, very smart horse.
Out of
they're both philanthropists. They're both the 1st and the 3rd. Yeah, out of the winner's out of a Sports World mare, and the one that Chris Gerber owns is out of the
Silvana mare. Yeah. The philanthropist is bred by Wilgerbos Drift Maritzfontein. Alec Laird trains it, and here it's now getting pushed out, and it's just moving out of last place. But the horse that wins it is going a common canter on the inside. A Ferraris team, Luke and Ormond. Ormond's at last, found one of his children, one of his grandchildren that can ride, and made his life a whole lot easier. He can shout at the family again, and he didn't need to shout at Luke here. Did everything right, hands and heels.
Good rider, Luke Ferraris, and Brian Finch owned the winner. But the horse we got you to follow, Chris Gerber owns, and keep an eye on it. The money was down. It was a novice plate in against the winners, and it's called Virginia.
Right, now we go to KwaZulu-Natal. Now what happens in KwaZulu-Natal is we have the barrier trials. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on. And the 3 horses that ran 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in this race had all barrier trial and all barrier trial pretty well. The 3rd horse in the race, Walter the Penniless, beautifully named. It's named after Bass, okay? You know,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, he's not penniless. Let me tell you, he's got more cards. So I was with him last week.
Walter.
Walter. Got more of those cards. He's got I mean,
what
he needs
cards?
a
Race
box.
cards or
no, when he goes to
football
play
cards?
golf, okay, he's got this machine which is, made him into a good golfer.
Yes.
Because he used to be useless.
Useless.
But
Great green reader.
yeah, great green reader, and the machine helps him. It's got all types of gadgets. But the best part is that if you lose he plays with 12 guys or 14 guys. If you lose to them, they give you a card. The card's worth R2. He's got a pile of these cards like he's got like a box full of
What's
them.
he saving them for?
In case he needs them, because he's Walter the Penniless. He told me he's not penniless at this stage. That's where with the soul star, he's got cards.
He's got cards,
So he
eh?
can go and buy stuff at the pro shop for the cards. So he's now able to buy the pro shop. He's got so many cards. Okay.
Good on you, Walter.
Anyway, let's go. And
We
check
always send our regards to Mike Bass.
Yeah.
Great gentleman.
Yeah, we had fun with him last week. We had a lovely
Good.
dinner. Anyway, let's go and move on and see the horse named after him. And here it is at the start. Dennis Dreyer trains it. It's owned by Chanterelle Farm and bred by them. And it's a crusade. So let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, it doesn't know much about it. Manlin Tully's riding it. Funny enough, doesn't come out well. Neither does the stablemate. The stablemate was Francisco, who I thought would win and runs just off them. But the winner's down the inside, 2 off the inside called Flying George, runs a very good race. And the runner-up here too is a horse called Rocket Fire. I think it's in Bernard Cantor's colours. But the horse we found, James,
next to
behind the
horse-
grey or...
No, behind the grey, but behind the horse in the Rocket Fire of Cantor's. Now, this is why we picked this up as such
Long
a
way
good...
back.
It's way back. And you'll see Rocket Fire's in the yellow. He follows Rocket Fire through. And then just behind Rocket Fire is Thanksgiving, which is a very nice dynasty of Duncan Howells's. But this horse now starts to move through behind the grey horse. The other 2 go out, but look where he ends up. He's got to go outside both of those. So you'll see Rocket Fire now gets a left-handed whip. The Thanksgiving, a bit of gap open. So now where does he go? He can't go out, he can't go in, he can't go anywhere.
Comes out.
Here he comes, between the 2 of them, gives it a smack there, and this absolutely takes off this crusade. Runs a cracking good race.
Walter the Penniless.
So we think that Walter won't be penniless much longer after this. Cape Town Walter, well, he's got enough cards, so this is very badly named. No one's penniless that's named Walter. Okay, and you can follow those 3. We're going to go and have a look at what shouldn't happen. Go and watch the unabridged version on our Gold Circle YouTube website, because there's a very funny clip we got off for this, and it really is quite amusing. So we don't show them because, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. We're going to see Plum of the Week.
Cante. As they turn for home now, just over 400 metres to go. Silky Speech and Luneburg. Candy Galore with the red cap between runners. Amber Bellis to the inside, and then Kazan. Luneburg still leads it. Silky Speech is second, and now Candy Galore's getting into the race. And Candy Galore comes to Luneburg over the last 100. Candy Galore and Luneburg, these are the two, but Candy Galore just leads it. And Candy Galore won it. Luneburg beaten by half in second. Third to Silky Speech, and then Roy's Marlin.
Well, this looked like an absolute winner for start off your whole Sunday, whole week on, during the week, Wednesday it was. And 9 to 10, even money on Interbet even, started 13 to 20 with your local bookmaker. The Interbet price was the best by far. Couldn't miss with this. This looked like an absolute blinder.
Yeah, well ridden, because slightly slow. It looked a certainty, and he timed it right, Warren. Riding very well, Warren Kendi.
Warren, yeah, doing very, very well. Well, nice to see that winner, and we're going to have a break, and we'll be back with current affairs.
Best race time odds, transparency of betting markets, friendly and super efficient staff, the ability to negotiate odds, a full service tote with no limits, which is very important for exotic players, loyalty program, speedy withdrawal of funds, full odds multiple betting, and excellent in-play markets. These are just some of the many reasons that come to mind as to why I believe, as a serious punter, there is no online operator in South Africa that can realistically come close to matching what Interbet has to offer. Put simply, there's no other site like it, and the ability to negotiate odds adds to my fun and enjoyment. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
Welcome to another edition of Current Affairs, and James and I are going to talk to you about the super horse. We're going to show you Winx's race, and the race named after her, and her 26th win in the road to beat Black Caviar, and she's now won 30 races, Winx. Locally, there were no stakes races, and James, I think 7 o'clock Saturday morning, all people were up to watch this filly.
It actually was the highlight of the week, and one of the highlights of the year, because now she's come back, 6 years old, come back. As we said last week, watch it, because these guys are real sportsmen. To keep a mare like this going and racing, and she's enjoying her racing. She had her barriers. What, she had 3 or 4 barriers?
3 or 4 barrier trials going into it. One was 4 days apart.
Yeah, and this is all about whether she could step up to the race named after her, the Winx. It used to be the George Ryder, I think, the Winx Stakes, taking on the oldest, 3 and 4 year olds, 4-year-old and upwards. And this filly is...
How old do you think she is?
She's 6.
No.
7.
Yeah.
Sorry, she's 7.
Winx is 7. She's just turned 7.
Yeah.
Winx is 7. That's why she won those 30
Yeah.
races. James, just phenomenal. They had to
She
put a
just
lot of
turned
horses.
7.
I listened to a comment that was made by Glenn Schofield. Glenn Schofield turned for home with her. And he thought, Estrada to have got it. And he said, it's unbelievable the way she just powered away from these horses.
And she did, and she looks like she's a bit rusty too, a little ring rusty, because she took a bit of time to get going. In fact, halfway down the straight, you think, well, this will never win.
Yeah.
And then it just absolutely motors them down, an absolute machine.
I've got given the times of all her fractions, every furlong, what she ran them at, and I think she ran 1,408 metres. They'll tell you what, such a great guard that.
Yeah.
Because she knows she comes right around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's absolutely brilliant. She now goes in 15th of September.
Yeah.
Is her next race? I actually wrote it down. It's the George Main, a Group 1 over a mile on September the 15th.
And then she goes to Mooney Valley,
Yeah,
Cox Plate.
It's going for the 4th time. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, their turnout in their droves was a 400,000 Aussie dollars race, named after her. And
What's interesting is that you'd think, well, a race like the Cox Plate with a very short straight at Mooney Valley wouldn't suit her, but she just runs him down.
I think she might be better as she goes further, like Frankel proved.
Yeah.
You know, she builds up quicker. Then I don't know when they go. There's a lot of speed horses in these 1400-meter races. I looked at the field; they were by the best. Fastnet Rocks and you name it, they were out there to take on.
And she's shown that she's probably better, as you say, over 2,000 meters.
Yeah, she has.
But she's an utter champion. I mean, you can say what you like. The world can say what they like about this racehorse, that racehorse, the other. I've never seen a mare that's 7 years old still doing it out there and having.
She looked so well. She blew them away. Should we go have a look at the race? We got the race from the start.
Yeah, let's go and pick it up at the start.
And we're all set. Stand by for a start. Here we go in the Winx Stakes, and they're off and racing. Well, she's only jumped out fairly. Winx is going to settle in the second half of the field, and Cabeza de Vaca jumped well with Religify, and Oriental Runner is speeding forward, taking the lead. Then Classic Uniform, Invictus Prince, Kementari's one off the fence, D'Argento course 3 deep. Now Winx is in a trailing position. She's 2 behind Kementari early stages. Further back to Unforgotten, Ace High, and the stayer Libran is last. Oriental Runner, the long odds leader of the field, with Cabeza de Vaca and neck away in second. Then Religify and Classic Uniform. D'Argento goes to 5th on the outside of Invictus Prince. Then Kementari and Winx, they're racing together. Nothing between the pair, with Winx on the outside of Kementari taking closer order. Then Unforgotten, Ace High, and Libran is last. They're going quick up front. Oriental Runner and Cabeza de Vaca in the very windy conditions. From Religify, Classic Uniform, D'Argento, and here they come, getting to the outside, Winx and Kementari's trying to stick with her, although she dropped him now. Cabeza de Vaca takes the lead, 200 metres to run, but here she comes, Winx right down the outside, powering away from them. Invictus Prince, D'Argento and Kementari, but how soft for Winx. There's 26 in a row for the champ. Wins the race named in her honour, beats Invictus Prince, D'Argento, Kementari, then Unforgotten, Cabeza de Vaca, Religified, Libran, Classic Uniform, Ace High, and Oriental Runner was only beaten a few lengths in last position. Wow. Winx, how easy that today. She was with a boom colt coming to the turn. She just blew him away. She said, I'm so much better than all of you. Yet again, 26 in a row. Today, Black Caviar's record has gone over to one of the greatest racehorses the world has ever seen. Invictus Prince has run a cracker in second. D'Argento third, I think just in front of Kementari, will stand by in the third number. Under very, very windy conditions, they've clocked the time of 1:22 and a half.
Well, there we go. The superstar's done it again, and we'll be looking for the 15th of September, James. And for a stride or two, I thought, hello, is the kick there?
Yeah, in fact, Schofield on the horse in the blue, the Dolly horse, took her right off the racetrack.
Yeah,
basically.
he wasn't going to give her any room.
And as they swung for home, he rode a cracker. He's on this so-called superstar young horse.
Yeah.
Keretari, she just took over from him. In 3 strides, she had him dead. And then sort of geared down. It's amazing. She gets there and he gears her down and she still goes further away. She's some type of racehorse.
Chris Waller's done a great job.
1,400 metres. It's hard to go win 7 furlong.
She goes the same route she goes every year.
Every year, yeah.
Just stay with the
Australia. She's a Magic Millions bred, and sold. So she's very big for Magic Millions, obviously as well. What an advertisement,
funny enough, there were 6 caps made Winx, specially signed by everybody. One was brought to South Africa. by Steve Davis.
Steve Davis, yeah. We auctioned it at the
who
thing.
bought it? Can you remember?
I don't know who bought it, but I should
Gilly
think
Mostert,
that
our guest.
We might have the guest on
Gilly
the show.
Mostert bought it.
Yeah,
She bought
greatest
it.
buy she's ever made.
Yeah, the bravest.
Yeah.
You know, just talking about stallions coming through, Deauville have their big jewels this week, but they had the sale in American Pharaoh, had a baby sold there, 750,000 to Magnia.
Yeah.
There was a Camelot Magnia bought for 560,000, and the boys were paying. And in the
That's
meantime,
a corner.
I think so.
Yeah, a corner in France, and the highest priced yearling was, I think, 1.4 million at Dubawi. Yeah,
They topped the sale twice.
Dubawi was at the top average. Then Frankel second.
Yes,
Luke de Vega third. Those are the top three.
Frankel is now 28 stakes winners.
28
Yeah,
stakes
it's
winners.
coming up very quickly, you know. So that's very interesting. But as I said, American Pharaohs, James, people are looking to see where they can get their hands on one because some racehorse.
Well, interesting you talk about American Pharaoh. This weekend is the Travis weekend. You know,
Yes,
the Travis
yes,
is
yes,
like the
yes.
Saratoga
Yes.
linchpin race. It's a jewel in the crown at Saratoga.
yeah.
And they all had their gallops, all their preparations, you know, their breeze-ups and getting ready for Saratoga for the Travis. What is interesting is that Hofberg is out. He was a leading contender for the Triple Crown. But the three top horses are by interesting stallions. Catholic Boy, yeah, he's by More Than Ready. Okay, now we got Give Me the Green Light here in this country by More Than Ready.
Yes, correct.
Australia. Gronkowski, who ran second to Justify, he is by Lonhro. He came from England. He's by
Australian
Lonhro.
stallion.
Okay, and King Zachary is by Curlin, who went and shuttled in Australia. So you know, you go to Australia, you're buying whatever you like
top
by
horses.
the best horses.
Magic
And
Millions.
American Pharaohs there now as well.
Yeah,
you know,
can
he
buy them.
shuttles them.
We bought Galileos there, but, you know, fantastic stallions there, Silly.
You bought Camelots there.
Yeah, that's right. We certainly did.
Yeah.
Look at him today, flying.
Yeah.
Interesting talking about trainer stats. Now, Mark Johnson, my mate, he is one win away from being the winningest, as the Americans like to say, trainer of British turf history. Richard Hannon holds the record for 4193 winners.
Yeah.
He's on 4193 as well. He had 4 runners over the weekend. He went to Deauville, I think. Deirdre's wife went to the race locally. They all got beat.
Yeah.
And on Monday, he's got 2 fancied runners. But Mark Johnson, what a top man, you
And
know.
he's not old, he's young.
58.
What?
He's 58.
He's young.
He said, his son was out here. You know, he's studying to be a vet. Mark's a vet.
Yeah.
The son's probably a vet by now as well. Charlie, great lad, Charlie. Charlie works with Mark, and he said before Charlie's 40, Charlie's got to take over. He wants to groom him. He said,
So now how old Charlie now?
28.
So he's definitely going to break Richard Hannon's record.
Yes, he's definitely going to break it, sure. He's a great lad. He came down to watch rugby with me. I always have a few drinks with him in Dubai, and he came down to my house in England, came to a party, and with Huggy, and they had a great time. He's a good lad, so
Okay.
well done to him.
I think Mike the Cock knows him quite well too.
Yeah, Mark, and Mark's big buddies with his assistant. Yeah, he's got an assistant who normally goes over the horses, and he plays a
So
bit of
talking
golf.
about assistants, Alec Laird's ex-assistant Archie Watson, he's doing very well in England. isn't
Very
he?
well.
Okay.
Archie's booting them home.
He's flying.
Yeah.
And talking about assistants, Pat Shaw's assistant, Ricardo Lagrange, he's
Doing well.
flying in Singapore.
Doing very well. Noah from Goa.
No, from Go last week won a group race and won very well. He'd had one start before that, and they'd put blinkers on him. He just wasn't right, but he won a really good race last week. And Naresh Jagla was meant to ride for him this weekend. He was having his first child in Mauritius, which was all as well. He's got a son, Naresh.
Okay.
And Byron Foster rode this horse, Raffaello, which was one of his 3 winners over the weekend. He had 3 winners on the weekend,
very
Ricardo.
Very good.
This horse, Raffaello, is by Oratorio and
Okay.
owned by our friend Fred Crabbier. He's won 9 races now there. So 7 on the turf and
Fred
2
gets
on...
a lot of winners out there, eh? From
Yeah.
Patrick Shaw. I know Patrick keeps an eye on things in the sense that
Oh, yeah,
he
he's
watches the gallops and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well done, Ricardo. I always see him out at the Australian sales. He buys decent horses.
Yeah.
So that's very good. Noah from Go last week and 3 this week.
All right. Interestingly enough, going back to France, they have the Prix Mornay, which is a very good race for 2-year-olds fillies.
Yes.
And it's a Group 1. And it was won by English, okay? And Pretty Pollyanna won it for Bell and De Sousa. Interestingly enough, the first 3 home were all by British trained horses.
Oh, okay. That's very good. That's very good.
But do you know the last 5 pattern races in France?
All British trainers.
All won by British trainers. The last 5 pattern races all been won by British
It's so
trainers.
close to ship them over there, you know.
Yeah. It just shows you.
Yeah, it does just show you. Sure.
The sad news was Rhododendron, you know, who's flying the flags for sister. She went wrong in the other race, the Prix Jean Romain, and it was won by Nonza, who's by Zanzibari, trained by a young guy. He was Andre Farb's assistant, and I think he trains for his mother.
Little general.
But sad about Rhododendron. I hope that they were able to...
Does he train for his mother or Andre Farb's mother?
No, his mother.
Oh, his mother, okay.
Talking about mothers, Delmar Oaks.
Yes.
Femme Fatale Bear won.
Okay.
Do you know who Fatale Bear is?
No.
By Pedro the Great.
Oh, Pedro the Great.
You don't
Never
know
heard
Pedro.
of him.
Did you remember him?
Never heard of Pedro the Great.
He's from Mexico.
Obviously, Pedro.
Pedro
The Great.
He's got a cactus farm.
Yes, it does tequila.
Yeah, but the point is that Pedro the Great side a Sommerez mare. You know, remember Sommerez?
I sure do.
With the Cohens.
She won the York.
Yeah, stood with the Cohens.
That's where the stamina is.
Yeah, won the Delmar Oaks. So, you know, Sommerez mares are like hen's teeth. Let me tell you, they produce black type winners all over the world. He was a hell of a broodmare sire.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bruce McNall and Bunker Hunt had a share in Sommerez.
And might easily have.
And we've got that horse winning in Cape Town called Bunker Hunt.
Yeah.
And I think Charles Pretorius did a bit of a story on Bunker Hunt and his brothers.
He tried to capture the silver market.
Correct.
It's a fabulous story.
Yeah, fabulous story, yeah. And Bruce McNall was the numismatist, a famous coin collector who made a lot of money doing coins. And they found out he was cheating. He brought Wayne Gretzky, the great one, to play for LA Kings. And LA Kings is...
he was an ice hockey player.
Ice hockey, the best. Now, his daughter is married to...
Dustin Johnson.
You're up to speed. You're up to world's number 1 golfer, so that's how it works. But Bruce McNall went to jail for some sort of...
Didn't Roy Ward train for him?
Roy Ward trained for him. And Barry Gordy. Remember Barry Gordy, Motown?
Yeah.
Barry Gordy, yeah. I saw his
Roy
son
Ward
on
trained
TV.
for both of them.
Yeah.
I wonder Roy Ward can sing and manoeuvre.
They can't sing. They can't sing.
Is that it?
That's it. We're going to be speaking to Gilly Mostert in a moment.
Yeah, wait, hang on a moment. We're not finished yet. We have a look at this lot.
Yeah, this is for a great cause. They're raising money for the Jockey Academy at Summerfeld, and it's this poker tournament. James, you're a card player. You'll know more about this.
Well, you know, I wish I was going to this, but I had a prior arrangement to go and play golf at Millvale in Johannesburg with my great friend Larry Nestat. He's invited me. I'm not going to be at the Monster Jam. I told Mark Joseph, unfortunately, the other day that I won't be there. But it will be fun because they've laid on everything. There's going to be some golf. There's going to be all types of things going on there. And you can get out there and have a lovely time.
Have a lot of fun.
What they did to the greens, just as an aside for those of you that don't know, some vandals got into the Wild Coast and dug up the greens. I mean, what a mess they made of it. And that is a disgraceful act of vandalism. And I would, if they ever get caught, hard labour.
The word on the ground, there were some guys that were fired. Yeah. And there were some security guards who were, this is the word, I don't know how accurate it is. So,
well, if they get caught, they should be doing hard labour. They should be fixing the greens.
They did hard labour on the greens.
Yeah. But it is disgraceful. Anyway,
it is.
That's a game that everyone loves, and when someone vandalises a golf course, Terrible. I remember they vandalised the pitch at Lord's once, or one of those.
Did they?
Yeah, cricket pitches. Right?
Well, the ball's still moving.
Yeah, it's still.
Gee, what's the English
It
batsman?
looks like the English think that they vandalised the
They
pitch.
vandalised it this week, James.
With that, Jill Mostert, we'll see you later.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Your Call. As James alluded to earlier on, we'll be speaking to Gilly Mostert. Now, Gilly Mostert's a very interesting person in racing. Gilly, thanks very much for coming in to talk to us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, Gilly, I'm just going to bring a bit of history in first. You and I grew up together. People don't know that. Gilly's brother David was my scrum half at school, and we've seen each other go through, right through from your parents and my parents. They were in the same parish, and
Correct, yes.
things have gone on from there. Then, Gilly, you, where's David? And David's a headmaster, isn't he?
He's the headmaster of Merchiston Prep in Pietermaritzburg. I think he's got 3 more years to go before he retires, and I'm sure he can't wait for that day.
All right, Gilly, now, you started off at Gold Circle. That's where most people know Gilly. Gilly Simpkins, as she was known as. And Gilly, you've had a wonderful time there.
I loved my job. I loved the company. I loved my job, dealing with people. I think after 23 years in one company just says it. It's passion. This is an industry that it's all about passion.
If you find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life, they say.
Exactly.
So you were what, marketing or eventing,
I was
or
PR,
what were you?
communications, anything actually. Anything that I enjoyed, they allowed me just to run with it. As Graham used to say, I'm like the social butterfly. Just let me fly and I'll do the job.
Yeah, I know. Most of the guys, especially from the training ranks and those ranks, you say, oh, we've got to get something out of Gold School. Let's phone Gilly.
Yes.
And people would phone you up and say, listen, I need the extra ticket or I need it. And
I still get it.
You still get it?
I still get it, yes. Yeah.
And people phone. And then you're involved with the running of the awards. Now, the awards, the reason I'm talking about the awards come up again this Friday night. We've got the KZN Awards at first time that they've been held here in our silver room upstairs. It's a fantastic venue. And Gilly, it's the first time in 20 odd years that you haven't been involved.
No, it's actually quite an interesting function for me to attend. I've always organised it, but I'm going there as just to have fun.
Just to have fun.
Just to have fun and contact with all the old people, and I love it. I mean, I just absolutely love it.
Were you there the year that lady tripped and knocked all the trophies all over the place?
I was there, and I actually picked the trophies up and put them back on the...
I remember that 9.4 for floor exercise.
Yes, that's correct.
She caught the step, shame
that's
it.
right.
And then, Gilly, you've seen you must have had many different bosses. People come and go in 23 years. You must have.
I was commonly known as the Black Widow.
Oh, that's a wonderful
staff
nickname.
Members, yes, yeah. I think I went through more bosses than the number of years that I actually stayed at Gold Circle. The longest standing boss that I actually managed to keep was Ken Twiddell.
He's still going strong.
He's still going strong, yes.
Yeah, he's involved. He always writes a poem for the Vodacom Durban July.
He's commonly known as Mr. Vodacom Durban July.
Is that right?
So that's right, that's it.
He puts everything into it, eh?
Yeah, he puts his heart, soul. He's so passionate about the Vodacom Durban July, and he's already started planning for next year's, even though he's retiring now at the end of the month.
Does he pick the theme?
He does the theme, he sits there, he does the poem, he picks the theme, he listens to what Vodacom require, like the red package and all that kind of stuff, and he puts it all together, and I don't know where he comes up with some of his ideas, because I don't know what medication he takes.
But it works.
Yeah, but it works.
But it
yes.
works. Julie, you've obviously, as I say, been there right the way through. Is the 3 months building up to the Vodacom Durban July the busiest for a Gold Circle worker?
Well, for Gold Circle as a whole, but your marketing, your PR communications, that sort of area, it's almost like a 10-month lead up. Because now you're starting to do all your planning, your editorial pages, your adverts, your media release structures, all of that. It takes about 10 months, but then you still got in between all the other race meetings that you've got to give equal attention to.
Of course.
And then you just throw in every now and again Vodacom Durban July.
And you build up to it, eh?
You build up to it, yes. And that day is...
Is it chaotic for you on the day?
On the day, well, I used to deal with all the PR, which is the owners,
What about
trainers,
the
jockeys.
international
media, local media, TV, radio, you name it, I did it. This year was the first time I have not attended in 23 years. I was invited.
Yes.
And I know a lot of ex-employees would come back and criticise.
Yes,
and the staff do not deserve that.
Yeah, shame.
They work so hard to put on that day.
Yeah, it is. It's
right from the ground staff all the way up. And I didn't want to come and criticise.
Yeah, no, that's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
You don't
So I sat at home for the first time in 23 years, no makeup, no hairstyle, no designer clothes. Actually, the only closest thing to designer clothes was my pyjamas.
So, Julie, you saw it from that perspective. Now, in that time that you were working at Gold Circle, you met Marius, who's now your husband.
That's correct, yes.
Now he's actively involved in racing very quickly, you know, and was that your doing?
Well, he used to be very active in racing, and then he had a couple of bad experiences and he pulled out. And when he met me, I was in the Lady Cougar Syndicate.
Oh, yes, of course.
And we used to come here and have so much fun. And in the end, I'm almost certain he landed up breaking one or two of the ceilings in the Durban View, shouting and screaming. And he slowly come back in, and now, you know, he's hook, line and sinker.
Yeah, so Marius comes into your life, and then at that stage in your life, things are going along. Suddenly, you're diagnosed with an illness.
Yes, yeah.
Do you want to touch on that?
Yes, certainly. I think it's a very good time to educate people about autoimmune conditions. It's basically your immune system actually attacks its own body. It will see, for example, Marius had a cold the other day.
Yes.
I landed up 10 days in hospital with bronchitis, with inflammation of the heart, the lungs, the kidneys. So it just looks at your body and just says, today I don't like your joints.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. And some days it's good, some days are bad. And
so you medicate and maintain?
Medicate and maintain, yes. I am going to be trying new kind of
therapies that are coming through?
Therapies, for example, I've been speaking to Anthony and Candice Delpeche about the oxygen chambers, and because that's good for your cell renewals and things like that. So I'm going to try anything and everything.
So you obviously, I had a shock in my life, but you got the shock in your life as well. Where suddenly you've got to alter things, your lifestyle, everything, and it's you're working for this major team. You've been with so many years, and you've got to say, guys, I can't do this job much longer.
Well, fortunately, for a number of years, I didn't know how bad my autoimmune conditions were.
Yes.
And the company actually allowed me to do my own times, work from home when I wasn't feeling well. The fatigue is one of the things, when you ADD, fatigue is a killer.
Yeah, no.
So the company was very good up until last year, whereby I got diagnosed with a full mixed connective tissue disorder, which is all of the immune system.
So you were boarded?
I was medically boarded, yes. I didn't want to leave the industry.
No, of
I'm
course.
so passionate about the animal.
Yeah, yeah.
And my whole life, my job has been ego-driven.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, being in the front line, dressing up, always looking nice, it's ego-driven.
Yeah.
And I wanted to find something that drove my soul.
Well, your soul got revved into shape by Marius. Marius, and that he shares your passion, and then he can help finance it is a major plus.
Yes.
You know, he came along, and then you guys, I remember you said you're going to build a place. You were staying up in Summerveld till your place got built. I didn't realise his vision, Marius. Yeah. Marius has got this vision.
Yes.
And he followed through.
Well, sometimes he gets a little bit ahead of himself. For example, our first year, your first year in any new concern, you've got to do a business plan.
Yeah.
And unfortunately at National Yearling Sales, I couldn't attend due to bronchitis. So I sent him and the ever popular Bugsy Saunders
My hero, Bugsy.
to the national sales, and I said to them, I need 5 horses, only 5.
Yes. So you can start the
And-
spelling farm.
Well, I mean, I had all your babies in
Yes,
there,
yeah.
you know, but all I needed was 5 more, and they came home with 12. I did a bit of swerving, a little bit of cussing.
But what people don't realise is, as we talk about Maurice's vision and your ideas and that, and people who've been to see your place are amazed. You've called it Loving Life.
Loving Life.
That's a great name because your disposition.
That's right.
Now you've got this place here, Gilly, and it's state of the art. Maurice hasn't
Thank
missed
you.
a turn, eh?
Thank you.
He's really gone out of his way. He just keeps building, as you say, no game plan, and
yeah.
lots of animals.
No, lots of animals, yes. We've got our, at the moment we're sitting on 18 horses,
Fantastic.
which is good. And thank you very much, Paul, for your
Yeah, no,
support.
sure.
We've been really, some of the guys have given us such great support. And actually, you and Phil,
Yeah.
Giorgio, were the ones that actually planted the seed.
Yeah,
And
something
I've got to
do.
thank you for that.
Yeah, it was something for you
And
to
talking
do.
about state of the art, I mean, our stables have got cameras in every single stable. Our monitor the
Infrared
horse,
lights,
infrared
the
lights.
padded boxes,
Yeah.
deep bedding.
Well, put it this way: the padded boxes was for one particular horse.
Yeah.
Her name is Carmen, Marius's mare, and Werner Volksgang.
Okay.
She would double barrel kick any wall.
Yeah.
So she's now been banished to the paddocks.
Okay.
She's no longer. So we are. No, but getting back to
But-
the story, we've got 2 birthing barns.
Fantastic.
We've bought a property across the
the
road,
road.
whereby we've got 32 paddocks there. So each horse is.
It's really looked after, and I like the way that you've done it. People don't realise when you drive up to your house, you've got this wonderful driveway, and this, was it a metal horse or something that stares at you, and metal
Yeah,
ducks,
metal-
and you got your metal ducks, but people don't realise that you're also a serious animal lover, and I remember you and Maurice came to our stables, and you paid a guy who was neglecting a little dog to take it.
Yes, yes.
And it's grown to a beautiful greyhound.
Joni, yes, she's
Yeah.
a beautiful. She's turned into a beautiful.
You've got ducks. You've got
Yeah, we've got
dogs,
Huey,
cats.
Dewey, Donald, and Duck. Unfortunately, Huey passed away over the weekend. I'm not too sure how, but he drowned.
A duck trout. Oh,
Only in my house.
Yeah,
only
only
in
in
my
your
house,
place,
you know.
yeah.
And then I've got licorice and all sorts.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 lambs.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
fantastic.
and then we've got Tarius the turkey,
Yeah.
after Marius, you know,
Yeah.
fluffing up the feathers.
all that.
and-
That's his style, yeah.
That's Marius's style.
Style,
So
yeah.
I had to call her the turkey Tarius after
Now,
Marius, you know.
now you're in the stage where, as I say, our top horses, Sniper Shot,
Yes.
Dark Moon Rise, all of them up there spelling
Yes,
with you,
yes.
because where does your vision end? Because you're going to be in racing, so is Marius.
Yeah.
How big are you going to get as a spelling operation? Or are you going to control it to a size and maintain a standard? Well, what are you looking at?
Very interesting question that Marius and I have been through. I've never run a business in my life.
Yeah, sure.
So I've surrounded myself with an amazing team of people. Because of my condition, there's not much I can do
Yes.
apart from making sure that
It's run well.
it's run well, correct. And our vision was just to see how far we could push it.
Yes,
And we pushed it to 31.
yes.
And then we've reduced it now, and our business model is 15 to 20 horses, max.
It's a very good
Because
idea.
then we can actually give individual attention.
Yes.
And I'm
You're very lucky too, because
Passionate.
I go up there quite often, so does Roy, and they always go look at our horses. But you've got Bugsy, who's my hero, he's been there for years, and you've got Billy Jacobson.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
a wonderful man.
No, he
He's a
is.
hard worker.
He is.
He really is. And his whole life, he epitomises energy and that. He's a great guy.
correct, yes. And even our groom staff. I mean, now, I don't
Yes,
like, I call
Alfred.
them our lads.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what they call them
Alfred,
overseas,
and
yeah.
we were so blessed to find Philip and Sapiri.
Yes.
They are ex-Jeff Woodruff
Grooms.
who
Yes.
went into mining and realized that it wasn't working for them. And I actually managed to pick these 2 guys up, and
And they're
they are
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But not only them,
Yeah.
we've got youth,
Yeah.
we're training as apprentices,
Yeah.
and All our staff.
So-
I mean,
so-
even
so
my
you-
domestic ladies
Yes.
get stuck
Stuck
in
in.
and walk horses and
So
everything. Yeah.
it's just a wonderful time to be up there. I know that
Yes.
you're doing the right thing. You know, you're educating them, you're
Yes.
training them, you're teaching them, and you're running a small business per
Correct,
se.
yes, yes.
And,
I keep myself busy,
Yes.
out of mischief,
Yeah.
if that's possible. And I still manage to keep my finger on the pulse of the racing industry.
That's it.
I'm just looking at a photograph there of White Lightning.
Oh, here we go.
yes,
That's
yeah,
right.
of
There we
White
go, guys. 2
Lightning.
runs, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He was auditioning for a Zorro movie here. He didn't get the part, but this is from Jilly's farm, as you can see.
Yeah.
And look at this. There
It's
they are.
licorice and all sorts.
Those are, I think, whose are those now? Now, in the background,
The
you watch.
background is Lady Cougar and her foal by Willow Magic. Her name is Magic Cougar.
Oh, these are fantastic.
Yes,
and then
yeah.
they're all mates together, right?
Yeah, no, they are. The sheep are amongst all the horses. We got 10 dogs.
Are there any other photos? I wasn't looking at the cameras up there, you know, but I just saw White Lightning and that. Do you remember him? You bought him that ball.
Yes, he
Yeah, he had the balls.
he enjoys playing with the ball.
The ball,
yeah,
yes, yeah.
And your Wiley Hall colt
Yeah.
also thoroughly
Oh, here we
enjoyed
go.
it. That's Zanzara.
Yeah, that's Zanzara. Now, there she hasn't got the best of pins, but sure, she's won us 5 races, Australian.
she's good, eh?
But have a look at the background if you're watching. Look at this setup. And there you are.
It's Morris's paddock ornament.
Yeah, but yeah. It is absolutely, it's a beautiful venue, and there it is having another look at us.
She photographs very well.
Yeah, she does. Look at that. Sure. Who took these photographs for you?
Fortunately, Candice Monawi came
Oh,
up for the day.
She's outstanding.
She is absolutely
she's
brilliant.
outstanding. So Candice took these photographs.
Yes,
They're very,
yes,
very good.
yes.
And Julie, I know you're gonna put a lid on how many you're gonna have, but when people start seeing the results and seeing the kind of system you adopt,
Yeah.
you might have a lot of people coming to speak to you.
That's a possibility. I hope it's like that.
Yeah.
I've got a very good rapport with a couple of people already now.
the industry.
Yogas has sent me quite a few of his clients.
That's
and,
great. That's great.
If I'm allowed to tell you quite an amusing story, we, I'm sure Satyan won't mind me mentioning this. He bred Run for Jay, and Run for Jay arrived at the farm, and Morris and I looked at this horse and we think, is this a thoroughbred or an ass? It had the hugest ears you could ever come across. So we're sitting there and we're laughing about it and everything, and Satyan phones me. And he says to me, so how's Jay doing? Now, what am I supposed to say? I've got to be doing diplomatic. I said to him, Satyan, do you have a sense of humour? So he says, yes. I call the horse ugly, by the way. So I said, okay, then that's cool, magic. He's growing into his ears. But he's actually now, he's maturing. He's starting to look like a real racehorse now.
Yeah.
And he's getting that little bit of that attitude.
Yeah, and you know, another last point I just want to touch on, your Loving Life setup is right next to Summerfield.
Yes.
So a guy wants to spell a horse like we have, we just walk them up.
Yes, yeah.
And they come on up there, and it's a wonderful business. Julie, it's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
letting people know that you're still active in the game, because
Yes.
Jim and I are thinking of starting another segment to our show called Where Are They Now? Where
Yes.
are people in racing? We'd
Yes,
like to know,
yes,
you know, and just
yes.
talk to people, even if it's just for half a minute, you
Yeah.
know. And that's,
No, it's
at least
very
people
important.
who want to know, whenever they phone up saying, speak to Julie,
Yeah.
say, Julie's not here. at
Yeah,
Gold
exactly.
Circle."
Yes.
They know where you are now.
Yeah, no, they know where I am, and I invite anybody. If you want to come up and visit my place, just phone me.
Yes.
You're more than welcome at any time.
Excellent.
No, except for evenings, okay?
Yeah,
you
that's
can't see
right.
the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm
Julie-
sure my mascot shooter will be there to meet you.
That's right,
The
yeah.
Shetland pony.
Jill, thanks very much for coming.
Absolute
and there we
pleasure.
go. And I
Thank
wish you
you.
and Maurice everything of the best. There we
Thank
are.
you,
That's
Paul.
your call this week. What's happened to Jill Mostert? Now you know exactly where Jill Mostert is, and she's running Loving Life Stables, where you can spell your farm. Until next week.
Fiorella's making a big race of it. Snow Dance is going to have to dig down. Fiorella's on the outside. Snow Dance just clinging to the lead. It's close. They hit the line, and I think Fiorella got her. Snow Dance now gets the wake-up call, comes into the lead from Redberry Lane on the inside. And it's Snow Dance by 1 or 2 lengths. Premier Dance the outside. Snow Dance, Redberry Lane, but Snow Dance is holding on. Redberry Lane's coming back, but oh, it's too close.
Celtic Sea's all over them. Can you keep it secret on the inside? Vivier's running on, but Celtic Sea catching the right wave home with Inbarrage. Mighty High's flying on the outside. Mighty High got Celtic Sea.
Black Cat back, Rocky Valley, Will Pays on the inside, but it's now Sunset Eyes the leader. Down the inside, Will Pays a big runner, and Will Pays coming to get them all. Will Pays won at Attenborough second.
But it's Captain America in front. Captain America, with short of 200 metres left to go, is travelling strongly and looks to have it all parcelled up. Sail South is giving chase, but Captain America in front.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.